Addressing the problem of water by reusing. This water tap is used for washing hands and drinking. The runoff is directed into a garden bed where the water can infiltrate and provide the plants with water. Same thing here. This tap is used for washing hands. The water is directed here. And the water is going into this garden bed where the students will plant some vegetables. The runoff water of this tap is directed into this pipe, which leads into the compost and is watering the compost. The water of this tap is directed into this little pond and further taken out on contour to feed the swale. There is another technique for reusing the water by cleaning and reusing the grey water from the household. The grey water, that means it's the water from the shower, from the sink, from the washing machine, from the dishwasher, except for the toilet. This is called grey water. It is directed into this first pool, water coming from here and there, and going into this pipe. This is a T-piece that's taking the water from about the middle of the depth of this water level. And this is the first filter system, because the fat is always swimming and the heavy material is always sinking. And with this simple method of using that piece here, the fat and the heavy material is absorbed. It's a bit dirty because I have been opening this just recently, so there is a lot of stuff falling into that water. Further down, there is the pre-filter, which looks almost the same like this other little pool. It has 4 chambers, and the water is directed over a long distance with the same system of this T-piece to separate the fat that swims from the heavy material that sinks. After the pre-filter, water is directed into a sand filter, which we can see here. This is a biological filter because it's not the sand itself that cleans the water. It is the algae and biological life, microbes, that are cleaning the water by eating the nutrients. After that sand filter, the water is directed into this control pool. I'm not gonna open it now, but there is another pool here. This is the overflow. When it's blocked, the water would come from here, but now it's filtering and the water runs through the sand filter into that pool. Further down, the water is directed into a small creek, which is below the stones. We see it's now grown, it's green because of the water. Here we can have a look down. So, and we see there is some water. That means the system is working. After that, it flows into that little pond, which is full of life. The bees like to drink water here, the ducks, the chickens. And from this pool, the water escapes through that pipe over there into that little swale, a ditch that is also built directly on contour. Here I have opened it. This is where water can infiltrate, and it's clean water that is now used in the garden. This grey water is directed into the garden without cleaning. The water is coming from the cafe up here, and it's quite smelly and it's not healthy for the plants. But still, there are things we can do. For example, using this charcoal. This is produced by a teacher or by the students as well. And charcoal has many benefits. This is absorbing the nutrients coming from this grey water and is also helping to avoid the smell that we have here. This has been done by a pyrolysis. This is an oven that is producing this charcoal, which I will explain in another video. And if you don't have this available, you can also use straw. This is also a carbon-rich material that absorbs nutrients, and it lets the water filter through. So it's not blocking the water flow because there is a channel that I have dig and it's going until there. So this way the water can be used in the garden and at least there is a bit of cleaning.